Hi, it's Monday, June 4th, and welcome to Strictly Business.
Beautiful day, I'm feeling good. Gonna make some moves. No more shoulda, coulda. No time to waste, got nothing to lose. Now it's time to move forward. All I can be. So glad to be free. 'Cause I know if I try, no matter how I'm feeling, I can fly high. Ooh, no ceiling. I'll do my best. I ain't gonna stress, 'cause I'm taking care of business. Strictly business.
So, ladies, today we want to talk about leadership and how important leadership is in business and in your careers. How would you all define an effective leader?
For me, an effective leader is one that can duplicate themselves, not, transferring knowledge, so that to me is an effective leader.
For me, it's about integrity. That person got to have integrity. That person have to be honest. But that all rolls under integrity. So integrity for me.
I think for me, communication is key. Someone who is a good listener and someone who is available.
I say someone with a strong character. Has to have a very strong character and trustworthy.
That's a good one.
I think someone that's a visionary that can see beyond whatever or whoever they're leading, whatever project they're leading, that can see the bigger picture and see beyond. But I also think an effective leader is someone who can lead others, almost what Roz said, but in a way that they're duplicating. So I believe a leader should be someone that is preparing and taking a step back sometimes and allow other people's skill sets to move forward, because it's not about them, it's about whatever the project or the goal is. So just being able to fall back and provide professional development for those that are surrounding whatever is being.
To learn.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to put a little bit of a spin on it. So I took a leadership course, and it was from this book by Greg Greenleaf. It's called Servant Leadership. It's from Robert Greenleaf. So it's called Servant Leadership. And I just want to read an excerpt from the book that defines what a servant leader is. The servant leader is a servant first. It begins with the natural feel that one wants to serve first. Then conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. That person is sharply different from one who is a leader first, perhaps because of the need to be unusual, to have unusual power drive, or to acquire material possessions. The leader first and the servant leader are two extreme examples. Between them, there are shadings and blends that are part of an infinite variety of the human nature. Taking this leadership course, it says a strong leader is one who can serve. So, and again, I agree with you, who can duplicate themselves. So once you serve, are you able to see the fruits from that person that you were serving? Are they now serving their employees or the people that are around them? And are we willing to just step back and let others lead? That's, a strong leader.
That was good.
I like that. Yeah. So you're posing that there's different type of leaders, and different ways to be a leader. Right. Okay. Not just two, but there's different ways that you can lead. Good, bad, or indifferent. Okay. But I think as business owners or entrepreneurs, we're all somewhat leaders. But how do we lead as leaders? Right. Okay. Now you got me thinking.
And even in your field, like you're doing makeup, and you're serving people from the time they come in. Do you want some water? Are you warm enough? Do you need the air on? You know, you're being a servant to the person that's, you know, coming to patronize your business.
I love being a servant leader.
Usually, whatever I'm leading, if I'm going to lead something, I always make sure it's my ministry. So I say that because that has to be a part of it. Servant leadership is really looking at where you're gifted. It's looking at where other people are gifted. And it's not exactly what you said. It's not looking at the labor part of leading, but it's really looking at serving. I always say, even with Zeta, I lead with the heart, with sometimes I'm going to lose. I'm not going to always get, you know, how I think it should be. But it's really about, servant leadership is really about putting the project or whatever the goal is ahead of anyone's agenda. Because sometimes if you're on a team, people have their own agendas in terms of what they want to see.
And then having that strong leadership skill is being able to say, hey, I understand you have this that you want to do, but as a team, we're coming together to go in this way, and you know, maybe we can tie in what you want to do later, but this is the direction. So it's being able to steer them in the right direction as well. So that's also a part of being a servant, just being able to acknowledge, okay, I understand you want to do this, but at the same time, we're going in this direction, but I hear you. You know,
Making sure people feel heard.
Well, then that to me sounds like a lot of responsibility. So another attribute of a leader is being responsible. Yeah. Yeah. And so for those of us who are SMEs and not actual entrepreneurs, you have leadership role on your regular secular job too. I mean, wouldn't you say you're leaders on your jobs?
Yes. Yes. In different ways.
A little bit more. Come on, expound.
We got time to do that.
well, we'll expound on that once we get back. We're going to take a break.
Look and feel amazing at Beauty for Ashes Makeup Artistry. Fashion, beauty, bridal, cinema, television, makeup artist Rosalind Matthew does it all. At Beauty for Ashes Makeup Artistry, we can take you from ordinary to extraordinary with breathtaking, classic, trendy, sophisticated looks suited to enhance your natural beauty. Beauty for Ashes Makeup Artistry hosts a lovely atmosphere suited for a queen. Call today for your winning look at 585-415-4509. Beauty for Ashes Makeup Artistry. We see the beauty in you inside and out.
Welcome back. So I think we left off with Dr. Conyers and her conversation on leadership.
Yeah, remind me, Roz, what was the question?
The question was, I said to you on your job, you know, I'm sure you have leadership skills and qualities that you exemplify every day. So I wanted you to expound a little bit more on that, what type of leader you think you may be.
Yeah, so for me, working mainly with students right now in academia, you know, you talked earlier about building up sort of the next group or the next leader. And that's my goal, is to build up these next group of nurses, right now nursing students, to be the best bedside nurses and whatever nurse they decide to go on further to be. I have now a new leadership role at the school that I am in. So this is going to allow me another opportunity to continue to reach out and touch somebody and to keep giving back.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm like not a one-man show, but I do my thing. But coming to work every day, just me as a person, being responsible, handling the finance of a company, you know, falls on me. So, and the business is growing. So being that I'm in charge of that or oversee that, and we're doing well, I just feel that I set a good example of my leadership and my job.
Very good.
There you go.
My daycare. It's just me. So I'm teaching kids that's from like infants all the way up to 12 years old. So that's a huge role I have to play. I'm not just a daycare provider. I'm a mom. I'm a counselor. I'm a nurse. I'm this. I'm that.
Right.
All in one. So just teaching them, making sure they're on the right path to the next level in their life. You know, and it's a great feeling because I'm teaching them from infants. You know, even though they go home to their parents, they come to me and they're with me all day. And that's a great feeling to have. I love having my house open for that. But yeah, that's
beautiful.
There's this thing that people say that leaders are born. But do we believe that people can be trained to be leaders, or are they just born leaders? So what is your thought?
I have mixed feelings about that. As we have discussed before, I'm an introvert. I'm usually to myself. And part of me think that I've had some of these natural leadership skills in me, but also throughout my years, I took a leadership course through the United Way called AALDP, African American Leadership Development Program. I believe you did too, Tanisha. 2013, here she go. I think I was 2011. Mr. Rodney Young, don't be mad at me. But throughout that curriculum, it taught me more of the skills I needed and to self-assess myself, to reflect on myself on how to be a better leader. And it just seems like leadership is following me. Like I'm not looking for it, it just keeps following me in everything that I do, which I'm grateful for, I'm blessed for. I can't get away from it. So that's why part of me feels like I was born to be a leader.
You are a leader.
You are a leader,
Thank you.
doctor.
Yeah, you keep us time checked.
Right. Yes.
Leadership is inspirational. So, I think the answer to the question is yes and yes. So I believe people are born to be leaders, and I think people can be trained to be leaders. I also think that there are two things I learned. One of them I learned in the AALDP class, and that is if you think you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So I really believe that your job, if you are a leader, is to pull out what other people's skills are, and everybody has a role. So those behind the scene leaders we need. And then another thing I learned was, do you want to be the person that is the leader or the person that builds them? Now, I love President Obama, but I really love David Axelrod, because David Axelrod was the first person to tell Obama, was the first person to tell the world that this is the person that can be our president. He built him up to be president, worked on his campaign. He did things when people said that there's no way it could happen. So I'm looking at leadership now in a different way. Like, I want to be the person that builds the leader. And I think there's a way, that's why I say the answer to the question is yes to both, because you can be the person behind. Who's the person that pushes Beyonce? Yes, she's a leader, but there's a behind the scene group of leaders that names we may never hear. And they were born to do just that, to make sure she is as great as she can be.
I see your point. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say.
And I would have to agree with Dr. Conyers, where I ran from being in the forefront. Like, my husband would always tell me, look, it's being positioned for you to lead, and you're running from it, and but it's uncomfortable when you don't know you have that leader in you. And so that's why it does take training. It takes reading books and understanding, like, oh,
Having a mentor.
this is me, having a mentor, having someone who can see it in you. Like my husband saying, look, you are a leader.
You are a leader. You founded League of Professional Women. That's leadership.
Let us together.
That's leadership.
I just want to go around and say, you are a leader, and you are a leader, and you are a leader, and you, and you, and me.
And you.
And we'll be back.
I mean, think about our backgrounds. You were spoiled.
And you were spoiled.
and I was
I
spoiled.
come from a family who's never wrong. So, just kidding.
Just serious. I am Kelvin.
And I'm Natasha.
And
we are the
Dailies. So, we are excited about this year's conference. This is Love Marriage Ministries. Why Did I Get Married Part 2. Can you believe it's been 2 years?
2.
So this spirituality and forgiveness portion is really dear to us.
Yeah.
And we believe that we can share a lot of our ups and downs, our trials, and also how we overcame. You and I, we've known each other since we were kids. And then, so a lot of things that we may have done to each other before we got married, we kind of carried it over into marriage.
Yeah.
And so that forgiveness thing was something that we had to definitely hone in and try to work on. And the spirituality part actually is the thing that helped us when we, accepted God in our lives and we made Him the head of our lives. That's when things begin to work out and help us, because forgiveness was a hard thing.
Yes. Yes, because that's what the whole thing is about, how we overcome and we strengthen our marriage to be even bigger than ever before. So we would like to see you there. June 9th at the Hilton Garden Inn from 9 a.m. to 4.
And again, the workshops are going to be phenomenal. So I encourage all of you, we encourage all of you to please go and register.
Yes. So register and to also find more information at www.lovemarriageministries.com.
So you can purchase your tickets, you can find out more about the ministry, and I mean, it's going to be a wonderful time.
We know why we got married. Do you?
Hi, welcome back. So, ladies, who do you consider to be an effective leader in your lives right now, either in your career, your personal, your business?
Well, I'm going to say without question, for me right now, because she inboxes me and emails me, and her name is Dr. Marilyn Patterson Grant. And Soror, I hope you are watching. So I'm the president of one of the chapters of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Theta Alpha Zeta chapter. And in a lot of cases, as much as I love to lead, there are things that come up, and sometimes people forget that the leader needs pouring in. And my sorors are very considerate and loving, but there are times when, right at the moment when I need a pouring in, I'm getting a text from Dr. Grant about an effective strategy. I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting an email. I'm getting recommended books to read. I've watched her lead from the Rochester City School District to the charter school in Greece to charter schools in the DMV area. She's her family historian, so I've watched her lead in her family in terms of taking care of her aunt. Her and her sister travel frequently to take care of her aunt who was elderly. And so I look at her with leadership within our sorority, in business. She's the leader of a major foundation here in Rochester. And I see that, I love how the way she honors and respects me as a leader, but she also mentors me. The way that she mentors me in Zeta and in life. I have to say, especially where I am right now in our sorority, at a critical time with where we're transitioning to, with getting ready to celebrate 100 years, she has really been, a constant in my ear in terms of giving me some great strategies. And then she models and teaches the behavior that we should be seeing in leaders. And she believes in building. She's one of the people that builds the leader.
I want to just piggyback, since you took my effective leader. But she was actually my high school teacher, now sorority sister. But just a couple of weeks ago, I had a conference call with her, and just the way she pours into you and speaks life into you about everything that you're doing and encourages you, it's amazing. It's like, I want to be like her when I grow up, because, even in high school, her pulling me aside, Charlene, you're better than this. You can do this, and you don't have to follow what others are doing. And even back then to how she is now, she's been consistent, always been the same. So,
what I hear you two saying is mentorship, mentoring. So you mentioned that earlier, and I don't know if there's a distinction. Forget it, y'all. Forget it. Okay. Distinction. Thank y'all for helping me. Between and I have a doctorate degree, right? So if there's a distinction between mentor and leadership, does a mentor always take or have leadership skills, or does a leader always is a mentor? But I guess to answer the question, I would just say there's been many in my life who have been a mentor and posed those leadership skills. We can be here all day if I sat and named them. So I won't name a whole bunch of them, but I can say I'm also in a nursing sorority. It's more of a professional nursing organization called Chi Eta Phi. And Beta Chi Chi chapter is the Rochester chapter. And the women in that organization have been effective leaders and mentors. Tommy Hinton was the chief nursing officer at Highland Hospital before she retired, and she was an instrumental, effective leader in helping to make that organization grow. So I can go on and on. I think of you all as effective leaders and mentors as well. So again, we can be here all day if I'm just throwing out names, and I don't want to hit on one and not hit on others. But I can also say that I just feel every relationship that I have, there has been some leadership skills possessed by that person who, again, has just trickled down to me.
Right, that's good. For me, I can say many too, because it is a lot to name. They have like lifted me up. They tell me like, you can do this, you know, and stuff like that. So I'm just grateful for those people, you guys, you ladies. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
I too can say many, but most recently, and I don't want to sound so cliched, it is my best friend Tori. She's a very great leader. I mean, I've watched her over many years, and I can take a lot from her, and I've taken a lot from her in my personal career. So to me, she's a very good leader. I mean, because there's a good balance there. Absolutely. She's like a watchdog. Oh, yep, watchdog. No. Sorry if you watch Tori. That's what I mean. She's a protector, she's an encourager, and she helps you grow and develop. So I really appreciate those things and those attributes she possesses.
So yeah, it is a watchdog. She watches.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear me say it, but she is a watchdog.
I would agree with Christine. I think right now where I am in my life, currently what I'm going through will be the 5 of you ladies. Right, you know, I'm just learning so much. Each and every one of you have your different leadership skills and ways that I'm learning from, so I appreciate each one of you. So I would say I'm learning from you guys.
And just to piggyback off of you, where you said the leaderships are mentors, that goes back to being that servant. To want to pour into people, to be an effective leader, you have to serve them and pour into them and let them know that they are great.
And mentorship is a form of duplication, replicating yourself. And I once had it explained to me this way. It was in church. When you lead, you want to. If you were a developer, not what you call it. I'm sorry. If you were a person and you created this car and it was a great car, you want to have somebody make one even better than what you've created and not be afraid of that. So that's a form of duplication and mentorship too. So.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back.
Hello, welcome to Strictly Health with myself, Dr. Yvette Conyers, family nurse practitioner. Yesterday, June 3rd, was the 31st National Cancer Survivors Day, and us here at the League of Professional Women, we would like to recognize all the cancer survivors out there. Let's give it up. Yes, congratulations. National Cancer Survivor Day is held the first Sunday in June, and it's meant to demonstrate that life after a cancer diagnosis can be a reality. Please see the link below for more information on cancer. But I also, ladies, want to just take this minute to make sure you guys are getting your screenings, such as mammograms, pap smears. For my men out there, want to make sure you're getting your prostate screenings, and also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys are getting your colonoscopies. All those are age dependent, so please check with your primary care provider for when is the best time. But you got to speak up, you got to advocate for yourself. Thank you.
Now check out our Mompreneur segment.
Hi, I'm Felicia Fracassi, and I'm the owner of Fracassi Lashes and Laser Beauty Lounge. We have been in business for 10 years, and I love being in business, and I love being an entrepreneur. My business consists of people that stand not behind me, but with me. I'm so grateful to have my sisters that work in business right alongside me. I have 5 sisters, well, I'm the 5th one, and my brother Dorian, who's also amazing. We all work together, and a lot of times people will say, oh, you can't work with your family, but I have been so blessed to be able to work with them, and we have grown and grown and grown. We've been in different cities where we've been in Rochester, Buffalo, New York City, Syracuse, and we're opening up a store next week in Florida, actually. So it's a blessing to work with family. If everyone can get along, you can make a lot of money together, working together. Finding people that love and care about the business as much as me is very, very hard to do. You have to find someone that has the same thought process as you, the same outlook, the same vision as you. And it's so important because as an entrepreneur, you always have a vision that you're keeping up with. And if you have someone that you bring into your organization that doesn't align with your vision, then it's just a monster because there's 2 heads and it doesn't work together. Any leader is not afraid to be a worker. There's been many times where people get so surprised that I'm in the store actually working and doing lashes and brows and laser, and I'm cleaning, and they see me bringing out people, and they're like, we did not know you were the owner the entire time. We thought you were one of the workers. And I said, that's one thing that's great about a leader, is that I'll get in the trenches with my team, and I'll do lashes. Denise knows, Itanya knows, Ernestine knows, Alexandria knows, all my sisters, they know. I will literally get in there, and I'll work just as hard, if not harder, than all of them too, because I'm very passionate about this. And to be a leader, you really have to care about what you're doing. You have to have passion.
My sister as a leader, to be honest, I'm 26, and my whole 26 years I've never experienced someone that operates like she does. Real fast, fast-paced, nothing slow. She's like, boom, 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 boom. Learning from her, I'm able to grasp. A lot of people can't really grasp to like moving fast or a fast pace, a fast environment. But just watching her getting things done, paying the rent, calling insurance companies, doing payroll, making sure we have supplies, all that is taken care of. And it's like, she's always 5-6 steps ahead. And it's like, I feel like that's what you need. That's what you need in order to run a business. And she goes hard, to be honest. She goes hard for her brand. And I think that's with anybody that has a brand that they love and they have a vision, they have something that they want to empower and put out there. You just have to be strong. You can't be lazy. You have to just get up and just do it. And I think, she definitely has that. She's capable of running 4, 6, 10 different stores. I don't put it past her. 10 stores at once, she could do it. And she could do it by herself. With the team that she has behind her and the family, she definitely could do it. She has it in her. And I commend her because she does a lot.
My piece of advice would be just to have fun with, owning your business. A lot of times you can let this business consume you. Because you really become everything. You're wearing all hats of your business, but just have fun. If the reason why you started your business was because you were very passionate about what you chose to do. So my piece of advice is just have fun. Find yourself a mentor. And if you don't have a mentor, look for one. If you can't find one, pick up a book. I actually just wrote a book about, it's called The Manifested Entrepreneur. And that book explains how to have a mindset for entrepreneurs, how to prepare yourself for business, how to prepare yourself to be your own boss. A lot of times we think we have the concept of it, but there's a lot more that goes into it. And hopefully that book will be effective. It's actually on Amazon. And just have fun and enjoy yourself, because this is supposed to be fun. The Bible says, He'll give us joy in what we do. Our gift will make room for ourselves. So just have fun while you're out there being an entrepreneur.
Join us next week as we have a discussion on communication. Bye.